Hey everybody, it's your old pal Steve Moore here, owner of Run More, the spectacular brick and mortar running shop located in Westminster, Maryland. We have a brand new exciting shoe from our friends at Hoka coming out today we're going to be talking about. It is the new Skyflow. This is coming out in July 15th of 2024. Brand new model, brand new style from Hoka. So let's first get into just some of the nitty-gritty specs on here. This is a $160 trainer. This on the men's side weighs 10.2 ounces. On the women's, it's 8.7 ounces. Has a 5mm drop with our high end at 46 millimeters. The upper is a Creole Jacquard, and it has a supercritical foam EVA midsole blend. So this has a little more performance feel to it, and it has a more plush upper to it as well. So what is the Skyflow? This shoe kind of falls in an interesting place on the Hoka food chain. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of great shoes out there, and every year Hoka and our other brands continue to just add new categories and new ways to cram in shoes, and it's really hard as an independent store owner to find room for all these exciting shoes because there is only so much room in here. So we always are making those tough decisions of, wow, we really believe in this shoe, or maybe we don't, or maybe we want to try it. What makes sense for us? But I will tell you, when we were looking at shoes last year and planning ahead for 2024, this was on our short list of shoes that were sort of, we need to make room for. I think not only because the brand Hoka that really has been kicking everybody's butt the last few years, but we think just where this shoe falls on the food chain and where it falls on our wall made total sense for us to bring it in. So as somebody who's been carrying Hoka for a long time, since I opened in 2014, it's been really neat to see the way this brand has obviously just taken off. Some of the things that have been a little bit of a challenge maybe for Hoka and for us here is, as more people have got into Hoka, shoes that we used to pull for sort of our Hoka runners have now drifted into sort of like the walking shoe. And it's sort of funny that, we used to have people come in here, they're like, I'm doing long distance running, I'm training for a marathon, I want to feel that Hoka. And you'd probably pull them like a Hoka Bondi. And just real quick, by the way, I'm ride or die with Bondi. You can come at me with Bondi all you want, but as a 10-year Hoka salesperson, I'm ride or die with Bondi. So you would pull them like a max cushion shoe like the Bondi. And then over time, we'd be pulling this shoe for like just mall walkers and people looking for everyday cushion, not knocking it, but it became almost synonymous with just sort of that Hoka look walking shoe. You see people on town and go, oh, those look comfortable on your feet. And it no longer felt like a running shoe. It almost became the shoe that when you put it on somebody, it felt too big and bulky. It kind of came out like a pyramid, so it almost felt like it could be sloppy when you're running. So this shoe almost lost what it used to be for people that were ride or die with Hoka when they first came out with all their shoes for running. Almost feel like this shoe has left them behind as more shoes from Hoka have emerged, or other brands that have become that max cushion shoe that were a little more runny, and this became to me a little more walky. So then we have the Skyflow, and it's not necessarily a max cushion shoe, it's a 3/4 cushion shoe. So we have something like the Hoka Clifton, which is called a mid-cushion everyday trainer. You've probably run on the Clifton, you've heard of the Clifton. This is, a bread and butter for Hoka. And then we had the Bondi, which was their max cushion. So we had our mid cushion, we had our max cushion. Well, just to make things even a little more challenging, we've now added the Skyflow right between. This is a 3/4 cushion shoe, and it's priced that way, it weighs that way, it weighs a little less than the Bondi, weighs a little more than the Clifton, costs a little more than the Clifton, costs a little less than the Bondi. The big difference from this shoe that I think will make this so appealing for people is that, to me, this is a runner Hoka shoe. And again, not to knock on some of the other stuff from Hoka, but the midsole materials, the technology on some of the other stuff from Hoka and the other brands we carry has really continued to elevate. And some of the stuff like the Bondi and the Clifton have sort of just been a little left behind with their more traditional midsoles and such. So having a shoe that was more of a high cushion trainer that wasn't a Bondi, that wasn't so bulky, was really needed for Hoka. And it almost feels like, to me, they made this shoe for the runner in mind. This is now something that's going to separate coming into my shop and you're like, hey, I'm training for a marathon. I might not pull you a Bondi because I might be pulling the Bondi for the guy next to you who is retired and is now doing 2 miles of walking on the track, which is awesome, but we might not be putting the same people in the same shoe anymore. Now we actually can say, oh, you're running, we have a runner pretty max cushion shoe in the new Skyflow. I was also just trying to figure out where this shoe fits for other Hoka people out there, and the best way I came up with this was sort of like an SAT question thing. So follow through with me. Your Clifton is to your Bondi what your Mach is to the Skyflow, right? So if you're somebody who's been running in the Mach 6 with that more supercritical EVA and more of that everyday cushion category for more of your shorter miles, your faster miles, like a nice lightweight daily trainer, maybe you want something with a little more cushion to it. Well, now that's where your Skyflow comes in. So now you can really have that mid cushion to more of a max cushion, just the same way we had your mid cushion to more of your max cushion over here. We've added a new shoe in the lineup in a weird cushion place with a more everyday performance, and not even performance, but more of a runner midsole to it. One of the other things I really like about this shoe is, you know, compared to the Bondi, which I talked about has more of like a triangle, like a pyramid, how it comes out, which adds a little bit extra stability. It does tend to make this shoe just look like a lot. When you have people come in here and they go, holy crap, I can never put that shoe on because I'm gonna feel like I'm slipping it or swimming in it, or like a clown shoe. But this shoe has more of like a vertical feel to it. You know, it's much more stacked tall-wise. I'm not saying it's gonna have any plus or minus as far as the stability goes, and truth be told, I haven't had a chance to run in this guy yet. These are just sample ones that I've been holding here, so I can't give you my full thoughts on how this is going to be as a runner, but just looking at aesthetically, walking around, and even just the demo set, I don't feel like I'm going to be falling all over the place with this. I just feel like by losing some of that sideness to it, it just is going to feel that much faster and more performance-y, which is exactly what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for a shoe that I can go out and do, you know, 2 hours on the road, not think about it, feel like I have some responsiveness under feet, still feel like I have a running shoe underfoot, and then obviously with the high cushion to it, it's going to give you that nice protection. It really does seem like this could be that shoe for people looking to train for their first half, their first marathon. They didn't want to have the bulk of maybe a Bondi or a Gaviota. They wanted to still have that Hoka under their foot, and feeling a shoe like, you know, this looks in hand like a big shoe, but the weight doesn't feel that way. I think this is going to really check a lot of boxes for people to have a versatile shoe that they can go run in and not feel like they're falling all over the place. And honestly, you can have that yin and yang too. If you were going to pick up, you know, a Mach 6 for your junk miles, your speed miles, your track miles, you can do that. And then if you wanted to have a more robust, a more plush, a more, you know, just a more cushioned experience underfoot while still having that midsole that you're used to in the Mach 6, you're gonna get it in the Skyflow. So you really could, if you wanted to have two shoes in your rotation, these would be two shoes that could really go hand in hand. Or you can do what I kind of like to do, which is maybe to have like a more fun performance-y stuff for your long stuff, but something a little more tried and true for your junk miles, just to make sure that you're being honest with yourself, because I do think it's good to not always have just such performance-y stuff underfoot. You got to do a little bit of the work, right? So you get, you know, having something that might be more of an everyday, and then something that's a little bit more fun and bouncy to make the long miles go a little bit easier, the Skyflow could be that for you. And at $160, you know, I kind of expected this to cost a little bit more, just because that's the way everything's going, right? I mean, it's really crazy how many shoes are now getting in that 160, 170, 180. I'm seeing stuff for next year, daily trainers, $200+. So I know it's madness out there for everybody. We feel it here too, but at $160, I think that's a pretty good value for a Hoka shoe, for a shoe that can be a long distance shoe, and for a shoe with more of a performance midsole. So anyway, that's the new Skyflow. We're excited about it. I have a feeling Hoka is too, and we're gonna have it in standard and wide. I will tell you my one sort of knock on it. The colors are I'm not loving all of the colors. This is one of the ones that we actually think is on the better side, but you'll see when all the colors come out, there are some stuff that it's just a lot of busy. They're busy shoes. Yeah, that's kind of Hoka's thing, but they're very busy colors. That's just my 2 cents on it. As a guy who's obviously very into fashion, you know, it's one of those things I take into consideration. If you have any questions on the new Skyflow, feel free to leave them down below. We'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. And if you want to purchase this bad boy, we'd love that. Check out the link down below, and if you enter promo code RUNMORE, you'll save 10% on your order, and we'll ship it out for free. And if you're in the greater Westminster, Maryland area, stop on by, say hello. There's a good chance you'll catch me while I'm here. Oh, and last thing, like and subscribe to our channel. It's a free, easy, nice way to support our shop. Happy running, and hopefully we'll see you around town.